You're what?
It's nothing special.
Oh, you just shot it to get a deer in your bow, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But it's decent, but I mean, it's nothing special.
Is it that one you passed up?
No, it's smaller than that one.
Okay, good for you though. What way did he run?
But I think I got him on film too, but
You shot him on film?
yeah.
You're the best, dude.
But I shot him too far back and it didn't go in very far and it was hanging out.
Okay, where'd you shoot him at?
The feeder and he went
Okay, let me see the line. So right here we found our first little spot of hair. So, where'd he go in at that?
Let Dad have the flashlight. Or
You want the light? Here.
He went in here. Well, he went in.
oh, right there.
Is that blood? No. So maybe.
He went in right through here and he went dinging through those trees.
Okay, so look up higher. Hold on.
I don't even know where my phone's at.
You smell? I kind of smell guts. A little.
Turn the light up. Sorry.
All right. You want me to turn this off? Can y'all see?
Oh, his light out.
Yes.
So you come in from that back way over
I
here?
know he came in from right over there. Hold on.
From behind you?
To the right.
Right here?
First the little buck came in, the
Is
little
that the one with the
spike.
spike?
No. And then here, ready? And I didn't get, I missed a perfect.
You shot that deer?
No, here he comes. Right here. He grunted and he comes storming in.
Oh, that's a nice little guy. How many yards was he? 20?
Yeah.
There you go. That's it.
Will you show him while he's walking?
No, well, kinda, but I couldn't draw back.
Okay, guys, so we found first hair over here. We kind of studied the shot a little bit, and he went and came through here. The shot was a little far back, but I think we can maybe deal with it. We haven't found any blood, just some hairs, so let's go on.
Let's go. That's
First
my
little
first time
blood.
finding blood.
Good job,
Oh, no.
Parker. Right here. Yeah. Or is that? Yeah, blood right here. Yeah, move right here, Mom. Yeah, right here. A little bit of blood right there, guys. Right there, a little bit of. We gotta smell it. Ah.
I'm gonna. Is it zero in? Hey, buddy. Is that better?
The blood right here, guys. Okay, guys. So right there, I didn't want to bore y'all with all the blood tracking and stuff like that, and it was pretty shaky because we were kind of just walking through all these thick leaves and branches and stuff like that. It was pretty thick back there, and we were finding consistent blood. And then we tracked him about 100 yards, 200 yards into the woods, and it was really thick back up in there, so really we didn't have any time to really film at all. But it was a constant steady blood going into this like thicket part, and it was full of like thorns and stuff like that. Me and Parker, we have like scratches all up and down our legs, but we got up in there and we were going and seeing that we were jumping him. We kept finding his little bed spots that he went and sat in for a little bit, or for a minute, and we started going back again. So we kept jumping him. We should have backed out earlier, but we kind of all got a little excited, so we kept on going with the trail. But we went up to this creek bottom, and that's the last place we decided to stop at, because we didn't want to get too deep into the woods where we don't have service, number one, and we don't get lost, because that we have a big problem of having no service out here. So we didn't want to take any chances, so we decided to head out because we were spooking the deer, and we were just gonna head out and hopefully find them in the morning. So catch you guys in the morning.
Okay, guys, so we ended up backing out last night. We're back at it this morning. We're fixing to head out to the woods and see if we can find our deer.
Alrighty, guys, so we're already back on the trail. Started back up there at this creek, and we're already over here, so good start so far. But I'm gonna say, since we got enough of blood tracking, catch y'all when we see the deer. We just found him. I thought it was a rock, but It wasn't. It almost went through the other side. Oh, that's a nice one, too. He's old looking. Looks like stuff been pulling on him. If not. Oh, yeah. Stuff. No, that's the arrow. The arrow's somewhere right here. Right here. It went through. Pick up your deer, dude. Oh, he's stiffer than a rock. Oh, you shot him?
Yeah. What do you mean?
That's a cool deer. So, guys, we were coming up over here, and I looked over, and I was like, is that a rock? And that doesn't look like a rock because I just see brown, and then I see antlers. Like, oh, there's a deer. But we've been tracking him for like 500, 600 yards.
Probably more than that.
So, I hope his meat's still alright. He'll be alright. He's a good deer, though. So, now I gotta pull him through all this thicket crap.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. But, we're gonna have to gut him on over there, so catch you guys at the side-by-side. Okay, guys, so right here we have the deer, and I'm gonna field dress it for the first time. I never field dressed a deer before. So, first off, let's take out this arrow, just so I don't, like, cut it with my hand. Oh, man. Yeah, look at that. Where to see that? Dude, that light made him way lighter.
I know, right?
Okay, what are we going in first? The front or the front?
You want to go up? Hold on.
Hands. Vehicle. I almost gonna touch my phone anyways. My hands have blood on. Cause you guys at home. Okay, guys, so got a little bowl. I'm gonna put the heart in it and wash my hands, and then we're gonna go put some salt and some water. So it's full up with water.
How much salt?
A couple pinches.
On top or to the side?
Yeah, that'll be solve. It'll dissolve in there. Just let that sit for a little bit. Get all that blood out of it. You know, you see that start to get some of that blood. And we might cook that tonight on the Traeger or something like that. So.
Preston, your camera! Sorry!
took the head here. We're gonna do just a European mount on this guy. Be cool little European mount. It's a 10 point, little 10 point.
Okay, welcome back. We're going to talk about our day of hunting and then harvesting the little buck that I got here. Well, not little, but he's not big by no means. So that morning we went hunting. Preston went to one stand and then I went to another. And the morning hunt was really good for me. It wasn't good for Preston. He didn't see anything. But right off the bat, I heard, you know, the leaves crunching, which you love to hear. And the way the sun was shining in, I couldn't see. That's the area that the crunching was going on. I couldn't see what was going on until it had went through that area of sunlight and then started back behind me, kind of far back to my right. And it ended up being like a little 6 point. And so I was watching him for a little bit. He kind of went behind me and jumped the fence and then cut back a little bit and went off. And then just a few minutes later, same thing, coming the same direction. And there was another one, like a decent 6 point. And he ended up going, jumping the fence and going as well. And then it wasn't 20 minutes later, and straight in front of him. So then heard the leaves wrestling and you could tell it was something running. So I knew it was a doe. And sure enough, here comes a doe. And it kind of stopped on the ridge right up in front of me. And I was looking back, so I knew it was being chased by a buck. So I sat there and watched and watched and watched. And here comes a buck just walking. He was a decent 7 or 8 pointer. And then he bumped that doe down the hill in front of me, down here to my left. And I was debating on whether to take him. He wasn't nothing massive either, but he was a good looking deer. Anyways, he was slowly making his way down the hill there, and the wind blew, and I was down in a little valley area kinda, and it swirled, and then the doe winded me, and then she turned and jumped off, and then in turn he turned and followed her and left as well. So that was the morning hunt. So we went back out. I went back out that evening. Nobody else went hunting, and we went to a different stand, which is the stand that we all three killed our deer at last year, and it just felt like a good evening. It started out, there was a little spike that come in. He only had one spike on one side, broke off on the other side. He come in, went to the feeder for like 5 minutes, turned around and left. And then I was sitting there thinking, I was like, you know what, I've spent a lot of time in the tree this year so far. I mean, I've probably went 20 something times and watched little bucks, seen some does at first in the beginning of the year. The does are starting to fade out a little bit. Hadn't seen much doe, but just a lot of small bucks and a couple of decent ones that I probably should have harvested, like especially one in black powder. So I started thinking, I was like, you know, we've sat at the tree a lot, had opportunities, been passing them up. Preston has been hollering about needing some deer meat. We need some jerky. We need some backstrap. We need, you know, this and that. And so I started thinking about that, and I was like, well, you know what? I've never harvested a deer with my bow. The whole time I've bow hunted, which has been many years, I've only shot at 3 other deer, and unfortunately, I completely missed them. So I needed to get a deer under my belt with my bow as well. So I told myself if something decent came in, I was just going to go ahead and harvest it. I kind of said I don't want to shoot doe on our property the past couple of years and this year, because I just don't feel we have a whole bunch of doe here. I see tons more buck than doe. So my deal is I was going to take, a buck and not a doe, because like I said, I feel we're kind of low on doe. So anyways, this 10 point came. Well, I'm sorry, let me back up. Another spike came down the little trail right here. He'd stop and look back, so I knew something was on his tail. And I was like, we'll see what it is. So he came on around and went up to the feeder, but he kept looking back and moving his ears. So I was like, man, what's this gonna be? So he'd eat a little bit, look back, and then all of a sudden I seen the trail. I seen this 10 point coming right down the trail. And I was debating, am I gonna do this? And then he started getting closer and closer. I was like, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. So anyways, he came in, and I was trying to get stood up because I can't shoot sitting down. Get stood up, get drawn back and everything. And there was one point right when I was drawn back, I made a noise and he kind of like froze up, and the feeder's only like 20 yards away. This is the only tree that we have that's good to put a stand in, so we can't get further away from it. I guess I can move the feeder out a little bit further, but we've had it in the same spot for 2 years, so I really don't want to mess with it. But so I get drawn back on him. He goes, which we'll post the video as well. And I don't know, I misjudged how much he was quartered, and he was still moving a little bit when I released. I don't know what all went on. Anyways, I ended up making not so good of a shot on him, which you'll see in the video, far back in the hind quarters, what it ended up getting, but he was quartered enough that it did go into his gut area. So I was wanting to go ahead and just back out immediately and come back the next day. I knew it wasn't a good shot, but we had waited 30 minutes or so, and the boys were wanting just to see if we find blood and do some tracking, this and that, do a little bit. So we ended up tracking him a little bit, and we found the place where he'd bedded down, and we ended up bumping him. So then I said, hey, we gotta back out. That was that evening. So we backed out. Preston and I got up the next morning, and we're like, we're gonna find this deer. So we went, back to where we found last blood, and luckily the blood from there, it was still wet. Most of it was still wet. We just kept tracking his blood. There was only a couple of spots that we lost it for a very small distance, 7-8 foot. We just had to find out if he turned and went this way, but overall it was a very easy track, and we ended up tracking him for 830 yards before we found him, which I wasn't giving up on him because, I didn't want to leave him out there for the animals, and of course we wanted the meat as well, and it's just not right just to give up. So needless to say, we found him. We had to drag him. I forgot to take my knife with me. I guess I could have went back, but we were so far in the woods, I wasn't going to go back to get my knife because we should have gutted him there because it'd have been a lot lighter. So we drug him probably, 300 yards or so? Probably 300, a little over, to get him to where I could get to him with a side-by-side. So Preston and I drug him all the way there. Got him gutted, loaded up, brought back to the house, and Preston, we hung him up. Preston started cleaning him, so we've got our deer meat together. We've already started eating on it, and like I said, we will show you the video of it. Like I said, it's not a long video, and it's not a good shot, but I was able to get it on camera. I'm really considering getting a crossbow because I'm not the best with a bow for some reason. When it's target practice, clink, 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 I can beat almost everybody in target practicing. But when it comes down to the actual harvesting a deer in front of you, and I don't know what it is. I don't have a problem with a rifle or a black powder or anything. I've no problem, perfect shots, knock on wood, and been able to take all my deer with those with no problem. So just with a bow, I don't know. So I'm thinking about getting a crossbow for next year because I feel more comfortable looking through the scope. I know people make fun of you for using a crossbow, calling you a girl and all that stuff, but I just don't want to injure a deer and then not be able to find him. I don't want it to have to suffer and stuff as well. And I do feel, even though I've never shot one with a crossbow, I feel like I would be a lot more better and a lot more accurate, and it would just be better overall. I don't know. I think I'm going to try. I'm definitely went out yesterday, and I took Parker's crossbow, which he harvested a big deer with last year, and I still want to hunt, and so I took his crossbow, and it's actually a youth crossbow as well. And I was like, something, and I'm only going to shoot something nice, something that I'm going to mount this time, whether it's with a rifle or a bow. But so I took his crossbow because I was going to try it out, and if something nice came out, I was going to get it. But I forgot to show you, we also last night, we boiled this, did a European mount. It's not finished. We're going to boil it again with clean water, and then we're going to bleach it and everything. I think we are. I don't know. I kind of like it like this. Gives it character instead of having it just bleached white. I don't know. We'll think about it. Like I said, decent little 10 point.
Perfect first bow kill though.
Perfect for my first bow kill. The other ones that I've shot at with my bow, actually one of them was the last one I shot at was 2 years ago, and it was the deer Parker harvested, which I'm sure you all have seen, and he was a giant, and I did have buck fever big time that time, so that's why I missed him that time. But like I said, I know some people hate on taking little bucks and everything, but like I said, I feel in our situation here on our property, we have way more buck than doe. Don't know if it's 100% true, but according to my cameras that we watch closely, and I spend a lot of time in the tree, and from what I see, I mean, buck after buck after buck after buck, and not hardly any doe. So that was the choice I made. Like I said, I appreciate you listening to me. And like I said, we're going to put the video up. You can take a look at it and see how horrible it was. But we didn't give up on him. We found him. We're eating him, filling the freezer with meat. He tastes amazing. And we've actually got some on the Traeger right now as we speak, getting ready for dinner tonight. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.